Today, I talk about the top 15 players going into this RLCS major. We go through my top 15 players on this list and we decide which ones are the best and what makes them that good. Hey guys, we're on the road to 100k subs. Subscribe if you're new, it really does help. Comment if you agree with this list or what you think I missed. Enjoy the video. Alright, so number 15, I'm coming in with CRR. A lot of you might be a little surprised I didn't choose Raise Bull, his teammate, but CRR, honestly, in my opinion, is one of the best players in NA right now. If you guys didn't know, Complexity made a roster change and they got rid of Shad and they actually picked up an EU player that speaks Spanish to go with the other players. They got CRR. CRR was on Guild Gaming, and this guy, I remember being on Pro Rocket League Team Knights at the time, and this guy was just an animal, bro. He's one of the hardest players to predict. He's got a very unorthodox style with how fast he plays, and honestly, he matches with the Complexity team really well. And that's a big reason why I think they're going to have success at the major and potentially make a top 8. Number 14, a little biased because I'm good friends with all the FaZe team, but I got Sypical. Sypical, I remember hearing about him having this crazy come up. He was known as one of those players that literally played 6-mans, which is a private 3v3 servers, which people try to rank up in. It was really popular back in the day, not too much now, but he went from a rank that was not considered high to skipping like 4 ranks all the way to rank S where pros were at within like months. Like, it was the quickest thing. He was grinding harder than anyone else, and in ranked, everyone wanted to be like Sypical because he was just that good and he got that good that fast, right? Very underrated, I feel like. I don't feel like anyone constantly talks about how good this guy actually is and how good of a player and what he brings to FaZe Clan. He's known as playing as a passive play style, but always being in the right position at the right time. He's got good mechanics. Honestly, just one of the most solid overall players, and there's a reason I have FaZe Clan winning this major is because he's part of this team. And yeah, man, watch out for Sypical because he's one of the most solid players out there. Coming in at number 13, I have G2 JNaps. Dude, this guy's literally been in the Rocket League pro scene on G2 since I was a baby, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why he's not talked about as like one of the GOATs. I really don't. He's got some of the best core mechanics in Rocket League. The guy definitely doesn't get nervous anymore unless it's like a grand final, right? Because grand finals are the most pressure, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like I remember watching Worlds. I go to Worlds and next thing you know, it's like G2's in top 8. Oh, now they're in top 4. Oh my gosh, now they're in grand final. So I was under a pro contract for about 2 years, and granted I wasn't anything crazy, but just to even get a chance is so hard. You have to learn to stay at the top, making majors consistently. JNaps is one of the most consistent players, incredible core mechanics, and yeah, man, G2 is going to do good things because of this guy. Bum, bum, bum. Number 12, I got Miss. Yeah. Hey, if you're going to have a team winning the major, I got to put all 3 players in. When you think of a player that does nothing insanely flashy, but can do, you know, flip resets and double touches and all that stuff, he just does everything so consistent at a high level every single match he's in. I feel like Miss is one of those players that he's always in the right spot at the right time and always hits the ball how he needs to hit it. When I first started coming up in the Rocket League scene, I remember playing against Miss, and there's actually a clip on my Twitch channel from years ago. I'm playing against him, and he hits this triple like fake and 50s me in the net in this Astro tourney. And I remember being like, dude, I remember giving this guy gas, like, he's so good.
No, I can't. Charge enough.
Should we
Flicked it? You're fine. He's faking.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's on another level. From the very beginning of his RLRS days, he actually was a substitute at the beginning, in fact. But he goes from substitute to RLRS to making RLCS to now look at him on FaZe Clan being one of the most consistent players. And he's a big reason of why I have them winning the major. Coming in at number 11, I gotta throw one of the Oxygen guys in right now, Archie. I don't really follow EU Rocket League too much, but every single tournament, I watch the highlights, right? This guy's in like 4 of them. He's in like 4 of the 15, 20 highlights. This dude's consistently one of the most confident players I've ever seen. I remember seeing him on Simper. This dude was single-handedly just scoring like ceiling shots, double touches. He was just incredible. And then he joins Endpoint and they make the major again, or they made Worlds. And then he finally gets on the team he wants, which is Oxygen. I think Archie's one of the most solid players all around in Rocket League. He's got high-level mechanics. The dude is one of those players where he can play the game with very few hours and still be a top-notch pro. Watch out for Archie, guys. He's going to do some crazy things, and there's a reason I have him at number 11. Coming in at top 10, I have his Batman and Robin duo, Rise. About a year and a half ago or so, Rise is on Team Queso, which is the smaller team. No one's really heard of these guys. It's Tira, it's Joyo, and it's Rise. It's like 3 players who are good, but no one really, they have high peaks, but they've never hit them, right? So no one really knows how good these guys are. Rise was one of those players that instantly became on everyone's radar, and they got picked up by Moist. Moist ended up having a great run, and he ended up joining Oxygen. And Rise is known as a player from all the other pros as one of the most consistent, best players on LAN. And it seems like he's always one of those players that you can rely on to make the simple plays, and he makes them work constantly. But there's a reason I have Oxygen doing pretty good at this tournament, and he's a massive part. So I have Rise coming in at number 10 with how solid he is. Coming in at number 9, I have Oski. A lot of you guys might find this a surprise, but I honestly think Liquid could easily win this major. But this guy comes to NA, and in the last week, he's been grinding for the major. Let me just say, this dude is incredible. Like, you don't see how good some of these guys are. I know a lot of you guys don't get to play against these guys in ranks and stuff, but I've been streaming recently, and I play these guys every night in ranked, and they're doing things that I'm like, holy crap. Like, they're snapping on the wall, doing these wall dashes, they're hitting these double touches looking effortlessly, they're hitting these passing plays that I'm like, I didn't even know there was a guy over there. I feel like Oski kind of had to come up. I feel like all the Liquid guys other than a Chronic had to come up so quick, right? I mean, he's 16 years old. Oh my gosh, that makes me feel old, bro. I mean, I am older in the Rock. Okay, that's besides the point. Oski's an incredible player. I've been playing against him in ranked, and some players you just don't see how good they truly are until you play against them in ranked. Oski is one of them. Watch out for Liquid. At number 8, we have the worst alpha, right? No, we have Alpha 54. This guy, I've known him for years, man. So when I first started streaming, I have Alpha coming into my stream sometimes, and he speaks French, but he knows other languages like English, bits and pieces of it. And this guy would come in my stream and watch a bit, which was really cool because he was some big prodigy. He was like one of the first big prodigies in the EU where people were like, oh, we got to get this guy. This guy's going to be incredible. At the time, back in the day, teams didn't take as much of a risk, right? So he ends up joining a team, I believe, with Devo and Bluey, 2 incredible players that everyone knew were good. I think they both got kicked from their teams, and they formed together, and they picked up Alpha. Next thing you know, they joined FC Barcelona. They make RLCS. He's on TSM. And then things went a little bit south. They didn't go as good as they wanted, and he ends up on Vitality. They're honestly, they were struggling for a while. He disappeared. You didn't hear about him for a while. And it was this guy that you're like, what happened to him? He was literally like the best player in EU at a time. And then all of a sudden they weren't making main events. They weren't qualifying. But here they are again. Alpha looking like one of the best players in EU by a mile. Like he's easily in that top category of the S tier players for them. He's known for his car design as well, the anodized pearl. He's had a big impact on Rocket League, guys. Alpha 54, one of the most fun players to watch in my opinion. Watch out for Vitality, because if they have any success, it's going to be because of this guy. Coming in at number 7, we have Abjack. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably like, oh, bro, they just won the last major and dominated. They made grand finals. Why do you not have him higher on this list? I feel like Abjack is one of those players that honestly, he could easily be higher up on the list, but for some reason, he's always underrated, even though he wins a lot. I didn't even value this team high when they came to NA, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't value this team that high at all. I thought they would get like an eighth, they would be an 8th place team, you know, they wouldn't be making majors. I thought they could make majors, but Chronic, I didn't see he had that full growth yet. And then I didn't see Noli as being some crazy player, even though he had a decent Worlds. They had one little rough tournament at the beginning, and they just dominated everything for the next couple months. And not many people in Rocket League will be like someone like this. You know, he's a very humble guy. He works his ass off. And Abjack, one of the most underrated players, could easily be higher up on this list. And I honestly feel kind of like I'm disrespecting him a lot, but, you know, I have him at number 7. It was a quick list. Don't hate me too much. Coming in at number 6, we have none other than Atomic. Yeah, a lot of you guys were probably wondering, where is Atomic at? Like, could he be higher? Could he be lower? When this dude performs, I seriously mean this with all my heart. When this guy is playing good, I think he's the best player in the world on the day. When Atomic is playing good, he can literally 1v3 a team like I've never seen. G2 scrims like 3 hours a day, which is a lot considering Rocket League. Most teams maximum do 2. But yeah, they do 3 every day, sometimes even 4, I'm pretty sure. This guy puts in the work. He's a great player. Atomic, one of the most slipperiest players I've ever seen. I know that's a weird word, but his wall dashes are so fast. His hands moves at a speed that I've never even seen, and he's able to do these wall dashes so quick. He gets you goals out of the weirdest angles. He gets you great passes. But yeah, Atomic coming in at number 6. Watch out for him. We have officially made it into the top 5, and I have the other Gen G player, as in Chronic. So I've been playing Chronic for years, man. I remember playing this guy in 6-mans. Dude, I have this like thing in my head where I'm playing in a 6-mans lobby with him, a private 3v3 lobby, and we're practicing trying to get better. And he's constantly eating out of this bowl, and I'm just hearing like soup, like a spoon chiming. It's like a ting, ting. He's like, dude, oh, I'm sorry, I'm eating. He's like eating mid-goal. I'm like, bro, can you not just wait like 5 minutes? He was always playing. I know he's in other sports. I know he played hockey at a high level. He's just an overall really competitive dude. I've always liked Chronic a lot. Really nice person as well. When he finally got his main chance was with Gen G, when they instantly picked him up because they saw he had potential. And man, right when he found out how good he really was, did he show it. He started flip resetting on people, double touching. He's getting hype in comms. You know, he's one of those players that's always got like a pep in his step, right? He's always seems happy and stuff. If I could team with one person, bro, it'd probably be Chronic. Seems like a really good teammate, and he's a really good player. He finally got his chance with Gen G, and man, did he show for it. And that is why I have Chronic at number 5. Coming in at number 4, I have Atal. Atal. I don't know how to say his name the best, but let me say, this guy, just like Oski, is a reason I have Liquid could easily make the grand finals in this major. He's one of those players that when you play him, you don't realize how much better he is than you. He's so creative. He's at a high level that most players can't perform at their peak at his regular. You know, I feel like he doesn't get the hype he deserves. He's one of those players, when you play against him, you realize why he's so much better than you, right? I can get top 100 in every playlist, and this guy makes me feel like I'm GC3 at times. Him, just like Oski, kind of float in that same boundary where they both have these crazy peaks. They're like that Batman and Robin duo, but they both complement each other so well. And I think Atal could literally end up having the best LAN performance that he's ever had, and I think they could easily win it because of how good this guy is at a high level. Yeah, watch out for Atal. We have made it to the top 3 and I have none other than Atachi. Now, this guy doesn't get talked about enough at all. I'm going to say it straight up. He is so damn good. I think it was like 4 years ago. I'm on Twitter and I see this Shifts post or something that says, Atachi rumored to be coming to EU, to be joining FC Barcelona. He's trying out for these teams. It's this young prodigy kid that was fast. He was moving, you know, places around the country. And he joins these teams and he kind of goes silent, but then at times he has these big spurts where everyone's talking about him. And then next thing you know, he ends up on Carmen Corp with Astral and Noli. They do great at Worlds. And that was the first time I really saw this guy and I was like, dude, this guy is a beast, right? Atachi has that fire in him where every time they score, he's like, yeah, like he's getting super into it. He's getting hyped. Now that he's on Carmen Corp with Tira and Exotic, you got this great team that complements each other so well. But Tira needed that player that had that fire in him, and this is what he wanted, was someone like Atachi. And man, did he live up to the standards and perform. There's a reason Carmen Corp has been going on a tear, and a lot of people have them winning the major, because one of the reasons is this guy. Okay, a lot of you guys might be mad at me for this, but number 2, I have the Tira. And let me say, I honestly think this guy could easily be number 1. And I remember one night, we were watching Team Queso replays in this Discord I'm in with a bunch of other pros. And I remember Sipical was like, man, he is really good. He takes his time with the ball. He doesn't boom it away. He always is making the right play when he needs to, which is very hard to find in a newer up and coming player. Team Queso gets picked up by Moist. Next thing you know, they're winning majors. Tira is starting to outshine his teammates. Everyone's like, okay, this guy's unbelievable. And he joins Carmen Corp. And well, there was a lot of pressure on him. People were thinking, yo, is this guy, why did you leave Moist? He's getting crap on Twitter from people. I remember Rapid was crap talking him a bit. Next thing you know, he joins Carmen Corp. They're beating his old team. He's dominating. He's winning series 4-0, 4-0, 3-0. Like, he's just dominating the series. This guy's the overall package, guys. And when I say that, I really mean it. I've played against him in ranked since he's been in a few days. And man, he dominates, man. He reads the game so many steps ahead every play. He's off the ceiling before I'm even thinking about the ceiling. If Carmen Corp's going to win, he's going to be playing phenomenal. Watch out for him. And yeah, Number 2, Tira. Yeah, you guessed it. Number 1, I have First Killer. After this recent performance of the last split, dude, this guy, I saw a stat. First Killer averages 500 points per a game in each series. Do you know how unrealistic that is? Bro, in a good series, most players are dropping like 400, if that. Like when they're scoring a couple goals and stuff, saves, goals, they're dropping like 400 points. 500 a game each series he's averaging. I think he finally took a back step and said, like, he lets his teammates play around him more, they play around him, and it complements each other perfectly. When you talk about the perfect player in Rocket League, I genuinely think First Killer is right there with it. First Killer has the best core mechanics I've ever seen in Rocket League. If there's a double touch that is open, he hits it every time. If there's a flip reset chance, he hits it every time. If there's a pass that he needs to make, he hits it every time. He bounced around on a couple rosters at the beginning, going from he tried out for Ghost. It worked out, but then they flipped and wanted someone else at the time. Then he joined Rogue because players didn't want to take a risk on him. Then he joined FaZe Clan because he dominates on Rogue, becoming the best player in the world. And there's a reason I have First Killer at number 1. He is an absolute beast, and there's a reason I have them winning. It's because of this guy as well. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you for watching. Let me know who you guys have winning the major.